Today I'm going to show you how to install Havoc Off-Road's HST steel tube side step on this 2016 Toyota Tundra. Now this is going to be the same installation from 07 to current. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so we're underneath the truck on our driver's side. We have our truck up on a lift. You don't need a lift to do this installation. This is just so you can see everything that we're doing nice and clearly. So we're underneath the truck. We're at our rocker panel right here. We're at the front of our truck also. And you can see that there are a pair of threaded holes right here. There's going to be 4 sets as we go along, and that's where our brackets are going to attach. Now your front bracket is going to be different from the rest of the brackets that you have in your kit. It's going to be a 2-piece. It's going to kind of have a gap in the center. The other brackets are going to be 1-piece, and they're just going to be one on top of the other. But if you hold this up, you can see that it perfectly matches up with our factory holes. And the only other thing that you need to keep in mind is that these brackets, when you put them on, all need to be facing towards the front of the truck. And that's how you know you got the right one. Then what we're going to use is a provided zinc plated bolt with lock washer and then flat washer. And then we're going to thread those loosely into each of those holes. And again, we're just going to do this by hand. We're not going to actually tighten these down just yet. And that's going to allow us to have some adjustment once we get our board on. Now our next 3 brackets are all going to look the same. It is going to be different from your first bracket. Like I said, you're just going to have 2 oblong holes that are going to be right on top of each other, and it's going to be one solid piece. And again, making sure that top bracket is facing towards the front of the truck. Your bottom bracket is going to be facing towards the rear. And again, we're just going to use our provided bolt, lock washer, and flat washer, and just thread those in by hand for right now. We're going to do the exact same thing on our 3rd bracket and our 4th bracket. So now we're going to grab our driver's side board. Now you're going to know this is your driver's side board because the bracket on the board is going to be facing the same direction as the bracket that we mounted onto the truck. Once we get that into place, this is actually going to sit on top of the bracket on our truck, and your kit is going to provide some carriage bolts that are going to be black. Those are going to go in through the outside like that. That's actually going to lock the carriage bolt into place. And then on the other side of our bracket, we're going to use a washer and a serrated flange nut. Now there's going to be 2 locations, one right here at the bottom and one right here at the top. We're going to do that same thing on both of those locations on all 4 of our brackets. So now we're going to go ahead and lift our board into place. It's going to be useful if you have somebody here with you to help you. And then we're just going to go to the middle first and put in our carriage bolt with our washer and then our serrated flange nut. Now we're just going to leave that loose again until we get all of our bolts in and make our adjustments. So now that we have a couple of our carriage bolts in place holding the board for us, we're just going to go back through and put all of our carriage bolts in. So we're back at the front bracket. Again, carriage bolt in through the side with a washer and then a serrated flange nut. Again, just leaving those loose. Now the top of our bracket is also going to get a black carriage bolt. It's going to go down and then through the bracket that we placed on the truck. And again, you're going to get that washer and a serrated flange nut. So now we're at our second bracket location. This is the first one that we put in to hold everything. We're just going to put another carriage bolt through the top with a washer and nut. Again, we're just going to do the same thing on our third and fourth bracket. Now that we have all of our bolts loosely installed, this board actually has quite a bit of adjustment. Now you can see here, we can adjust it in towards the truck or out away from the truck, however we like it. But you also have adjustment here at our rocker panel of up and down. So that'll allow you to actually level out the board once you have it adjusted where you want it. So the first thing that we're gonna do is actually adjust it all the way in, and then we're going to tighten down the bolts that are holding our board to our bracket. So now we're going to start at our rear bracket. We're just going to lift it up to make it aligned at the top and then push it as far in as possible. And we're going to use a 13mm to tighten down our serrated flange nut. You want to tighten these down to 20 foot-pounds. Now we're at our third bracket. We're going to do the same thing. And now we're back at our first bracket. Now that we have our board securely tight to our brackets, we can go ahead and put a level on our board and then tighten up our bracket to our truck. So now we're going to go back through and tighten up all of our bolts going from our bracket to our frame. Again, those are going to be a 13mm, and we want to make sure we don't go super tight on these. Again, just about 20 foot-pounds. We don't want to rip out the threads in our rocker panel. So now this is our last bracket. Now with that tight, this side is completely done. Your passenger side is going to install exactly the same way, so just go ahead and repeat that whole thing on the opposite side. That's going to complete the installation. you have any questions, give us a call or visit us online.